This is why you need to know about the foresights that transformed Prince Siddhartha into the Buddha. These encounters were not just mere observations, they were profound revelations that altered the course of his life and subsequently the history of the world. Let's dive into this timeless tale that shaped history. The story of Prince Siddhartha is not just a historical account, but a journey of spiritual awakening that continues to inspire millions around the globe. Prince Siddhartha was born into the lap of luxury. His life was filled with every conceivable comfort and pleasure. He had servants at his beck and call, lavish feasts and the finest clothes. His days were spent in the splendor of the palace, shielded from the harsh realities of the world outside. His father, King Suddhodana, made sure he never saw the outside world's harsh realities. The king had been warned by a sage that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a spiritual leader. Determined to see his son follow in his footsteps, the king took every measure to keep him away from anything that might provoke spiritual contemplation. But destiny had other plans. Despite the king's efforts, Siddhartha's curiosity about the world beyond the palace walls grew stronger. He felt a deep yearning to understand life in its entirety, not just the sheltered existence he had known. One day, Siddhartha ventured beyond the palace walls. This was a pivotal moment in his life, a step into the unknown that would change everything. His first encounter, an old man, frail and bent with age. Siddhartha had never seen such a sight before. The man's wrinkles, his slow, painful movements, and his evident weakness were a stark contrast to the youthful vigor Siddhartha had always been surrounded by. "What is this?" he thought. He was deeply troubled and confused. He had never considered that people aged and became frail. This encounter planted the first seed of doubt in his mind about the nature of life. He realized aging was unavoidable for everyone. This realization was both shocking and enlightening. It made him question the transient nature of youth and beauty, and he began to ponder the deeper aspects of existence. On his next trip, he saw something even more troubling: a sick person writhing in pain. The sight of the suffering individual was heart-wrenching. Siddhartha had never seen illness before, and the sheer agony of the person left a lasting impression on him. The prince grasped that sickness and suffering are part of life too. This was another harsh truth that shattered his previously held beliefs. He realized that no one, regardless of their status or wealth, was immune to suffering. Then came the third sight, a funeral procession, death. The finality of it struck him hard. The mourner's grief, the lifeless body, and the somber atmosphere made him confront the reality of mortality. The finality of it struck him hard. No one escapes it, not even kings. This realization was perhaps the most profound of all. It made him understand that life was fleeting and that death was the ultimate equalizer. Finally, Siddhartha saw a wandering monk, serene and at peace. The monk's calm demeanor and simple lifestyle were in stark contrast to the opulence and turmoil Siddhartha had known. How could someone renounce worldly pleasures and still be so content? This question gnawed at Siddhartha. The monk's serenity suggested that there was a different way to live, one that transcended the suffering he had witnessed. This monk's calmness made Siddhartha wonder if there was a way to rise above suffering. He began to contemplate the possibility of a life dedicated to spiritual pursuits rather than material ones. These encounters shattered his sheltered existence. They opened his eyes to the realities of life and set him on a path of deep introspection and spiritual quest. He left his royal life, his family, and set out on a quest for enlightenment. This was not an easy decision. It meant leaving behind everything he had ever known and loved. But Siddhartha was determined to find answers to the questions that now consumed him. Years of meditation under the Bodhi tree led him to become the Buddha, the awakened one. His journey was long and arduous, filled with trials and tribulations, but his unwavering determination and deep meditation eventually led him to enlightenment. From then on, he dedicated his life to teaching others how to end suffering, laying down the foundation of Buddhism. His teachings, known as the Dharma, provided a path to liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and it all began with those four sights. These encounters were the catalyst for a spiritual revolution that would change the world forever. Want to know more about Siddhartha's journey? His life and teachings continue to inspire and guide millions of people around the world. The story of his transformation from a sheltered prince to an enlightened teacher is a testament to the power of introspection and spiritual pursuit. Hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories from history. Join us as we explore more tales of wisdom, courage, and transformation from the annals of time.